So hey guys, uh, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can create a like texturing change with the texture coordinate, and it's a super easy tutorial. So just follow along, just create a monkey or whatever you want, and let's begin the tutorial. So you can see something like this, or might you get something like this, and depends on like how you need that. So first you need a gradient texture here, and for the gradient texture, you need a texture coordinate. So press Shift T if you don't know, or it's not going to happening for you. If you don't turn on the node wrangler, so just add on and install that node wrangler. For now, then you can see we have a coordinate for our texture coordinate option. So what it does actually, it does is the middle part of the object, which is the origin point. So the origin point depends on the object orientation, or you can say like the texture coordinate for the object, and different coordinates give different results. But for now, we are going to give like the texture coordinate, and using a color ramp to crank up the value. You can say like to create contrast or adding more colors in the value. So for now, it is a very soft gradient, you can say, but we need a little bit harder. So we make it constant and create a harder gradient in this factor. After creating the harder gradient, you can literally put more colors in between those colors. So it will be like a separating factor of those gradient colors. And I guess it is pretty good actually. So now after like creating the color, you need a mask. So it can define the black and the uh, black and the white. So just remove every color except the last the last node in the color ramp. You add the last like slider you added in the color ramp. So this one is just for the white part, so you don't need the white part. Just remove the white part. We start with the red part. Okay, so it is it is like that. So you only have the red and the black. Just make the red white, and we have a mask. Simple. We have the mask of that. So now what we're gonna do, it's pretty simple. After getting the mask, uh, we need to create the texture, the displacement texture for that. So if you use a magic texture, which I used in the tutorial of the video, uh, so it give you something like this. And yeah, I use very few times, yeah, it's very rarely used texture for me. I mostly use PBR texture, but this is a very good example of using the magic texture if you want something like some surface like that. So we're gonna use this one with the displacement and plug it in the height, and then plug the displacement texture into the displacement output. You get the result. And now, if your mesh is not displacing, so you need to change it in the settings of the material and make it displacement and bump. So it will displace, also use the bump, so you get the smaller details where the geometry can't displace. So yeah, this is mostly the displacement fact. Now let's create the coloring factor, like the changing of the different materials. So we use two different BSDF. It is easy. So use two different BSDF, join them together, and if you want to know like how I join, so press Control and Shift, and then right click on the node, and then drag it to the other node you want to join with. It will create a mix or join color or mix color depending on the nodes. So yeah, it's useful. Like a lot of time it's like inbuilt feature now. Anyways, so now you have a separation of the color node, and you can see we changing the color, but we can't see the main color because we reverse the map. And you can see there is a small black gap in between that. That's probably because of the mask we use. So yeah, the mask is like not very good here going on. So we need to change the mask a little bit. So just drag this white slider according to like where you need that, so you can change that value. Now for the displacement here, we have the mask for the displacement, and we just need to plug this in the scale value. So what it does actually, it change the scale value uh, between the numbers we put. So we can put a minimum and maximum vector here, but for like safe intents, uh, we're just going to use a mix color, and you can use it like that. Definitely, it is pretty useful. So just add the white and black value how you need. So black means 0 and white means 1. So when you can see the value, this is the main value we put in the like panel, in the displacement panel. So just it give you the same result if you doing it like this. So now we have a good separation between our two materials, and you can change this material. It will not like affect the other one. So you have two different type of materials at the same time. We're going to use an empty to sector out that factor. Now create the empty and add it as a coordinator for the texture here. So add just like eyedropper tool and pick that. And now your empty is linked with your texture coordinate. You can change your empty and it will affect your coordinates for the gradient texture. And it is like you can use it anywhere. You can use it in texturing also. Sometimes you can use it modeling or doing some stuff like this. So yeah, it's widely usable. It depends on you, like how you use it. So you can say it's doing that thing, but the it look like the texture is changing, but it's not appearing from below to up. Also, this line is very straightforward. If you want like a wriggle in the line or something like that, you can simply change it by using a noise texture, mixing that with the object coordinate of the coordination, and then changing the object coordinate and mixing those two together. Just a very small factor value in between those. So just a small, a very small value, so depending on your situation. Now crank up the value for noise scale, and it will give you that effect of like mixing out those two, or like the details you want in the separating part. So if you don't see like enough, if you have a good eye, you can see like we have a bit color leaking in here. So you can see a little bit of black here. I don't know like if you do like compress the eye, or you can see it. So I just going to change the color so you can may see that. So you see the white part, the green part. So it is just leaking the black part of what we created before. So just remove the black part. We don't need the black part. We only need two colors here. So we now have two colors, red and white, and the other one is the other color. We have the gold color in it, and yeah, that's all. After changing the noise factor, you can also change the noise like shrill factor here. So that like changing this value here, the W value. So just add a value node to it, like adding a value node and adding like hash frame, and by 100 you are like dividing every frame with like 100 in number. So if you go to the timeline, we are now in frame 1, and by divided by 100 it's 0.01, and where you are in the frame rate, it will change the factor according to that frame rate. So if you want to make it a bit faster, then reduce the number, or if you want to make it slower, then increase the number depending on like what looks you want. So yeah, that's just it. Also yeah, that number is like there's a factor by divided by a number of frames. So this is like the whole node group. You can actually do another trick with that by mapping the the coordinates of our displacement with the same node group. We probably need to make it a bit smaller, but now what happens, the new shader is linked with the empty, and it will like do what empty is doing right now. You can see like it's just like following the empty. And yeah, if you are like going for that type of look, you can do that. So I am setting the camera now. We just need to animate this empty here. So the animation goes like I add the empty at the bottom part, and press I to insert a keyframe of the location. Then I go to 100 frames. It's gonna be a 100 frame animation, so 100 frames, and then adding another keyframe on that position for the empty. Yeah, that's all for the animation part and all the stuff. So now there is a thing, we don't have an HDRI in our scene, so we can quickly draw some HDRI here. And if you need to composite this one with a static background with the same color of HDRI or doing that. So as you can see, like our background is transparent now. It's very easy. Just click the transparent here. So set your preference. It works in EV and cycle. So do whatever you like choose. But yeah, EV it's look quite good. So, but the problem here is if you move the monkey, it will like shift the texture. But parenting the empty with the monkey, it will not do that. So it will be very easy to move the monkey after the animation is done. Also, yeah, that's the main reason. And now we can add any kind of animation like rotate, scale, or anything. Uh, that's the main point. Now I'm just going to render a simple frame to do the composite work. And now, as you can see, we are in the compositor use nodes, and you can add a alpha over, and in the bottom part is the monkey and the upper part is the background color. So you can use any color depending on your color space or the color you choose here. So you can choose any color here. I'm like choosing this color type of like a greenish color, so it just matches the vibe of the yellow green complementary colors. And yeah, so now we need a eclipse mask. There is a few more things, like you can't really plug it in because it's basically this color. We need overlap with this color, the vignette effect. So we need another mix node, and yeah, control shift right click drag and you get a mix node. Now it's mixing but not the factor, so use it multiply, and now it's just dividing the black parts and making sure like the no what white parts is divided or multiplied like 0 for the instance. You can change it later, so it's very helpful for animation and things like that. And yeah, we are almost done. This is the whole video about it. Now you can animate it, you can render texture, you can do anything. Okay, so that's all for that video. See you in the next video. I hope this video gonna helpful. So yeah.